Hi, welcome to the SDP. Hey dude, sorry I didn't give you a lot of lines in pretty much every episode there's been so far. How about we do a debate episode?
Sure, what did you have in mind?
You know anything about Sonic the Hedgehog 4?
I don't know.
Oh, don't you worry about that. I've got your part already written right here. Just give me a moment to fax it to you. And while that's transmitting, let me give you a little background information. Folks, it's no secret that the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has been on a roller coaster of quality for quite some time. And as a result, the original games for the Sega Genesis have been regarded as some sort of sacred cow. So when Sega announced the legally defined direct sequel to the classic trilogy, every little decision has been met with scrutiny, and the reactions were mixed between those who couldn't care less and those who did care and took it with more than mild disapproval, who sadly seemed to be the most vocal demographic on the internet. And we're talking about cosmetic differences, Sonic's build, eye color, using the name Dr. Eggman instead of Dr. Robotnik, and the decision to use 3D character models instead of sprites. Even though everything done since Sonic Adventure reeks of newness in my book, for the most part I couldn't give a shit. Your price of admission nets you 12 acts across 4 zones, 5 separate boss stages, and 7 special stages. You think you could blow through this quickly, especially since the game saves after every level, and you select levels at will from a menu instead of having to go through the whole thing in one sitting like the old days, but there's still lots to do. Clearing a stage once unlocks its time trial, and finishing a level with 50 rings gets you into the special stage. These play out like they did in the first Sonic the Hedgehog, where you follow a rotating maze to the Chaos Emerald within, except this time you spin the maze itself around instead of controlling Sonic. Oh, and not only do you have to steer clear of exit gates, you're on a time limit and must collect bonuses to extend your stay. Despite the added challenge, the difficulty curve on the special stages is sensible. The first couple can be cleared in one go, whereas the last few will take potentially dozens of tries. This time around you can pause and restart as many times as you need, as long as you don't get kicked out immediately. It might seem like a game breaker, but trust me, you'll appreciate it on the later special stages. If only to save the trouble of getting to them again and again. While everyone else complains about the things that make Sonic 4 different from the Genesis trilogy, I'm more concerned with the things that are too similar. Specifically, the level themes are repurposed from the first 2 games. Splash Hill and Lost Labyrinth are Green Hill and Labyrinth from Sonic 1, whilst Casino Street, Mad Gear, and Egg Station are Casino Night, Metropolis, and Death Egg from Sonic 2. There's a difference between making people remember the good old days and just being lazy. But not all the throwbacks are bad. The music is done using Genesis-style synth instruments, and it brings back the tunefulness which made the original soundtrack so memorable. In fact, the only thing they intentionally brought back from the newer era was the mid-air homing attack, which I'll discuss later. Which brings me to the debate I teased earlier. Enter the Video Game Critic website, which over the past 12 years has hosted short reviews for video games from all generations. I kinda like the site and would give it a plug, if not for one thing. The Video Game Critic posted his, her, or their review of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 on their website. I'm just gonna use their from now on, and it's not pretty. They graded the game an F, and the review itself was just freaking scathing. Which is why I'm having Ichigo over there play the role of the Video Game Critic and debate with me, not just because I disagree with the reviewers, but because I feel they didn't do a good enough job of explaining their criticisms. You ready, Ichigo? You bet! I like that enthusiasm. Fire away. One of the intro scenes displays the Sonic Team logo, suggesting the original development team was somehow involved. So when did they forget how to program? By the looks of it, Sonic 4 was developed by Sega's board intern who had never actually played the original games but had seen a few screenshots. Wait, where'd that enthusiasm go? Okay, right off the bat we've got partial research failure. Yes, Sonic 4 was co-developed by Sonic Team, but you conveniently forgot to leave out the fact that most of the grunt work was done by Dimps, who brought in their experience from the Sonic Advance and Rush series. And by the way, the Video Game Critic gave good reviews, B- or higher, to all 5 of those games. So why the double standard?
For a real Sonic fan, it takes all of about 5 seconds of play to realize that Sonic 4 feels all wrong. The original Sonic boasted simple controls coupled with a palpable sense of speed and momentum.
Okay, let's take a moment to examine these physics quirks.
If you jump or drop off a cliff without holding left or right, you'll lose all lateral momentum and drop straight down. Not much of an issue if you play like me and hold the left stick down most of the time. When going downhill, you can come to a complete stop by letting go of the left stick. Not so in the Genesis or Game Gear series. Okay, that doesn't exactly make sense, but it's still kinda convenient. Perhaps the biggest if most well-documented foible involves how you go up quarter and half pipes. You used to be able to hold down and roll back and forth to build up momentum, but not so here. This time around, you have to hold left or right to run up the wall.
I suppose you should know the reason, or at least a possible reason, for all this. Since Dimps did the grunt work for this game, they built their engine off of the Advance and Rush games, which allows for tricks like running up walls and ceilings. And let's face it, next to their 3D console compatriots, these were some pretty darn good games.
Instead of being fast and smooth, Sonic's movements are awkward and stilted. The physics are borderline non-existent. These controls would be terrible in any game, much less a high-profile sequel.
Awkward and stilted? Non-existent? No, not quite anyway. Sonic 4 is still technically, what's the word? Oh right, playable! Where do you get off on exaggerating this I could argue that the platforming physics of Sonic Colors are even worse, and I still think it's one of the best Sonic games ever made. Hint hint.
I am also aware of Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, a port of the original game made for the Game Boy Advance by Sonic Team themselves, and guess what? It really is broken. As you can see, it's loaded with physics-related glitches. That's right, literal glitches, which you won't even find in Sonic 4.
So yeah, you officially have no idea what you're talking about.
Instead of simply pouncing on a foe, you're forced to perform a homing attack made unpopular by the marginal 3D Sonic titles of recent years. Who in the expletive asked for that?
Okay, hold up. You're never forced to use your homing attack to deal your damage, except in certain passages. Using your regular jumping and rolling attacks work just fine. Also, you say the homing attack was made unpopular by the 3D series? Again, I call BS.
It is truly one of the better things they could have added, as it is useful for getting a quick running start. Yeah, that's how I roll, bite me.
Let's face it, the homing attack is not the worst thing to come out of everything released after the Genesis trilogy. Let's take a moment to thank our lucky stars that...
The Chaotix, Elastic Ring Tethers, Collection Quest, and Unruly Chem, horrible voice acting, fishing, treasure hunting, robots, a ladder of two which be done in order to get to the good stuff, which wasn't even that good, guns, motorcycles, and that darn fourth Chaos Emerald, hoverboards, even more characters we'll never care about, minute plus long loading time, supply romance between Sonic and Human Girl, force racing, wolf hogs, talking swords, and all-around unplayability.
Are nowhere to be found in Sonic 4. So yeah, this technically is what we asked for, and they technically delivered. I do acknowledge its issues, minor as they may come across to me, but seriously, if you're going to completely trash the game because of them, the only Sonic games you deserve to play are the 2006 one and the GBA remake. Yeah, I just broke you.
Hopefully it will help you to realize that Sonic is good again, regardless of which direction he's headed in. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 scores 75%, a B-.
So that's my review, but before I go, I'd like to talk about its sequel.
Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2 was pushed out onto the servers in May of 2012, and it came with a laundry list of improvements, including multiplayer functionality, tag abilities, the red rings from Sonic Colors, and an updated physics engine. Yes sir, no longer will letting go of the left stick cut your momentum during a jump. It was awfully nice of Sega to listen to their fans, but I keep wondering, should they have done so? I mean, the haters weren't exactly all right and stuff, so I could imagine them ignoring all that whining to show them this boss. But whatever, the product we got is good for 85%, a B+.
One more thing I'd like to ask you, Ichigo. What is your opinion on Sonic 4, personally?
What do I care? I just want Mega Man back!
The punchline, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kevin with Ichigo, and you are the Resistance.